What's up, guys? D-Rock1992 here. For this next video, and for my next Quentin Tarentino movie review, I'm going to review the third movie that Quentin Tarentino directed, and that movie is Jackie Brown. Jackie Brown came out 3 years after Pulp Fiction. In 1997, Jackie Brown came out. And you heard me review Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction. I gave them complete 5 out of 5 stars. So Jackie Brown's the third go-around. And it has some definitely interesting characters. The movie pays homage to 1970s black exploitation films. So you definitely know that there's a there's a theme there. Tarantino likes to pay homage to a lot of different things, and Jackie Brown is pretty much the same Tarantino formula: non-linear storytelling, violence, things like that. It's got an impressive cast. It really has got a very impressive cast, which I will get to after. But the movie is about an airline stewardess who gets caught with some drugs in her possession. And in order to I'm looking at the plot here, trying to explain it right. So Jackie Brown is the flight attendant, the airplane stewardess. She gets herself into a situation with police, with an LAPD detective and an ATF agent. She gets herself into a situation with them. So she has to cut a deal with these guys to catch this drug dealer in the act, to catch this drug dealer who she works for, a guy named Ordell Robbie. He's a drug runner and a gun runner. And so she has to try to stop him. Along the way, she meets a bail bondsman. There is a associate of Ordell Robbie and a girl of Ordell Robbie, and these storylines they intertwine together to make an intriguing story. So that is pretty much the big plot of this film, for sure. Pretty much the main thing. So the characters. There's this actress named Pam Grier, who was a leading actress back in the day. She plays Jackie Brown, the major character in this story. And she does a good job in the film. I think she does a solid job. She's not overwhelmingly awesome, but she does a good job. She fits her part pretty good. Sam L. Jackson makes his second appearance in a Tarantino film playing Ordell Robbie, the gun dealer. So he plays a supporting role in the movie, and he's very good. He's the star of the movie for me. He's the highlight of this movie. Sam Jackson just turns out another great performance. He knows how to deliver good performances in Tarantino films, that's for sure. There's an actor named Robert Forster who plays Max Cherry, who's that bail bondsman I mentioned. Falls in love with Jackie Brown. And he gets mixed up in her story. And like Pam Grier, he was a veteran actor back in the day, a lead actor. But Tarantino revitalized Pam Grier's career and Robert Forster's career. she does that successfully. Bridget Fonda plays Melanie Ralston, who is the girl of Ordell Robbie. And she does a pretty good job. She fits her character quite well. She's kind of, she's a girl that Ordell doesn't necessarily think is worth much, I suppose, in some aspects, but she turns out to be pretty smart in some different ways, and not so smart in other ways. Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton, Batman himself, plays Ray Nicolette, the LAPD detective, and he does a fine job in this movie. Robert De Niro. Robert De Niro turns up in a Tarantino film. I believe it's the only time he pops up in a Tarantino film thus far. Robert De Niro plays Louis Gara, a guy who gets into Ordell Robbie's world, who comes into Ordell Robbie's world and is intertwined in the story again. I'll be honest, when I saw De Niro's character at first, I'm a fan of Robert De Niro. I think he's a fine actor. I think he's a very good actor. I did not love his character at first, but then as the progression of the character came forward, I liked it more. And I do think that De Niro served his character quite well. I didn't like it personally at first early on, but then as the progression of the character came along, I started really liking it. I started digging the character. And the last one I'll kind of mention is Chris Tucker. Chris Tucker turns up. Chris Tucker's a guy who's known for a lot of comedy and things like that, a lot of comedy stuff. He's also known for not being in a lot of movies. This movie is one of the few that he's been in. And Chris Tucker does a nice job as a small role as a associate of Ordell Brown's who gets arrested, and Ordell's afraid that this guy's going to expose him, so he pays the ultimate price. And Chris Tucker does a fine job in this movie. He does a good job. So overall, this movie's a good movie. It really is. It flows along nicely. It's another day at the office for Quentin Tarantino for sure. The storylines all intertwine with each other to create a good story and all that, a good, intriguing story. Now, I still like Reservoir Dogs better, and Pulp Fiction is a little bit below Reservoir Dogs for me. Following the chain a little bit, Jackie Brown is a bit below Pulp Fiction for me, for sure. But I still think Jackie Brown's a good film. I was intrigued by the film, I was hooked on it, and it's just good Tarantino fun. I had no complaints about the movie. The only big complaint I had was Robert De Niro. Then I kind of understood how his character progressed, and I liked his performance. So I'm going to give this movie a 5 out of 5 stars. It is a good Tarantino movie. I'm not going to say I love the movie, but I really liked it. It was a very good film. It's definitely good Tarantino fun, and a lot of people think of this one as an underrated Tarantino film. I tend to agree. I think it's underrated. It is quite good. So, that's it. That is it for this movie review on Jackie Brown. Stay tuned for more Tarantino movie reviews coming up. D-Rock 1992, out.